Test. Hello, whoever's on. Just doing a sound check, so drop me a note in the comments, let me know if you can hear me okay, or if the volumes need adjusting. Thanks. Alright, if that's you watching, Paul, give me a shout if you can hear me, or if it's anyone else for that matter. Hopefully the volume should be okay, because we're about to start qualifying. Right, good evening everybody, and welcome back, or indeed welcome, if you're new here, to FTRL GT Sport. We are here for Season 12, Round 6 of our career mode, and tonight we're coming at you from Sardegna, specifically the Sardegna A track. So we've got just the one race for you tonight, but it's going to be a more of an extended race than we've been used to this season. We're going to have 30 laps, fuel wear on, tyre wear on, so it's a bit of a change from what we've had up to this point in the season. So previously we've had obviously go-karts, we've had time trial, we've had a number of races now which have been all about just sort of how well you drive, how quick you can drive, how well you can battle with people, etc. This race I feel is going to start the introductions to a much more tactical and strategic battle as the guys work their way through this race. Like I said, we've got the tyre wear on relatively high, the fuel usage is on as well, so there's going to have to be some decisions to be made, particularly around saving fuel. So it should be very, very interesting. All on my lonesome tonight, so give me a shout in the chat, say hello, like the stream of course, if you could, that helps us out a lot. And let me know what you think is going to be coming up from this race. I'm going to have a run through the runners and riders in a minute and see where we go. Positive Ross isn't going anywhere at the minute, he's sat in the pits. Hopefully you'll get a move on soon, because we're already 3 minutes into qualifying and there's only 5 minutes left. So if you're listening, Ross, put your takeaway down, get a move on. Right, so what I'm going to start by doing is having a look at the table as it stands with the races that we've got today. So we've currently got T. Smith top of the pile, but he's not racing till tomorrow, so we should see a new leader at least for 24 hours until Tom gets back on track tomorrow and probably blitzes the competition. But he currently leads by 7 points from FTRL Pagani, who's also racing tomorrow. So the top rider today is City Posh Blue, who's currently leading the qualifying times as well by about a quarter of a second from TMC Jono. So City Posh will be hoping for a good performance. I'm sure he'll be hoping for a win. Very good point, thank you Pagani. Ross has a qualifying ban for being a naughty boy. I completely forgot about that. Good evening, Mark. Yes, this is GT Sport. Welcome. Hope you enjoy yourself. So, yes, indeed, Ross. Pagani is right. Ross does have a qualifying ban, so he's going to have to wait in the pits and start from the back. Meanwhile, as we watch City Posh Blue come round to the end of the second sector, see if he can improve on his time. He's definitely been practicing since yesterday when I was in a lobby with him, and he was all over the place, frankly. So he's definitely had time to improve. Right, so here he comes around the final corner, followed by Switchback, who's currently occupying third position. Let's see if he's going to be up on his time here. 137.345 to beat. Anything near 137 is going to get you near the top of the standings, I think, and he's going to go slightly faster. Switchback ducks into the pits. John is going to follow him over the line, and he's going to take second, keep second at the minute, as Aaron moves up into fourth, and he's followed by Captain Chubbs. A few of the guys back in the pits now, actually taking the chance to put fresh tyres on for one more run, so it's interesting to see if that will help them. These cars go a lot faster once you bleed the fuel off as well, so we might see some quicker laps coming in sort of last orders as we come to the end of qualifying. You should get one more. Yeah, the likes of Unsafe who've just come out the pits there will only get one more flying lap in, so that'll be their only chance to improve. We've got someone new racing with us tonight. It's CTM Sam Carl's YT. There's no way in hell I'm saying that every time, so I'm just going to call him Sam. So he'll be hoping to put in a decent performance in his first race, but he's got plenty of time to get used to it. Joining us halfway through the season, no pressure really, so hopefully he enjoys himself and has a good race. We've got Spike in 11th, just behind Zom. Unsafe release. Bread is Your Daddy returns after missing a week last week. The only person I think we've got missing this week is Pete man, who's unfortunately been stuck at work, so absolutely abysmal luck for him, but he's assured us he'll be back for next week. And then we've got Captain Chubbs in 6th. Let's take a look at him as he comes down towards the line. We'll see if anybody can improve as they come around towards what will be the last lap of qualifying after this one. As Jono goes fast and Jono goes pole. So Jono is up to pole with a 1:36.9. And Chubbs improves to 2nd, so 1:36.2. So now the fast laps, as I said, we're starting to see those coming in. The fuel is burning off. The tyres are a bit warm, but not too warm. So it's starting to look very interesting, and City Posh has got this lap to try and get pole back. It is 5 points for pole position, so it's definitely worth pushing for. So it's Jono coming around in his final lap. Let's have a look as he comes down the back straight. He's got City Posh just ahead of him. Sam's improved his time, but I think he's still going to be last with that time, so he's going to have one more chance to try and get off the back of the grid in his first race. So we see Jono come around this left-hand sort of hairpin here. You can get on the power quite early in these cars. On a lot of these corners, the key is going to be get it stopped, get it turned, get on the power. As Jono is a quarter of a second behind, so I don't think we'll be seeing him improve. We're going to take a look at City Posh, as he's going to be the first one round for the finish line. Here he comes. He's going to be looking for under 1:37, and I think this is going to be close. 1:36. He's not quite going to do it. He's going to be just over his time, so City Posh not improving. It's going to be down to Captain Chubbs here. It doesn't look like he's going to improve either, so it's going to be left for someone else to pull it out of the bag, or TMC Jono, in just his 2nd week, racing with us in FTRL, I believe, is going to be taking pole position. Switchback's not going to be a million miles away, but he's not going to get there either. He does improve his time, but stays 4th. And I think Unsafe Release is just nipped in 2nd. He's a fraction behind Jono. Unsafe Release are almost nicking it at the end there, but not quite, as everybody else comes over the line to see who else. Have we got anyone else left? Only Spike, but he's ghosting, so I don't think Sam's going to come around and try and improve his time, but I don't think he's going to improve, so I think that will be our finishing position for qualifying. So Jono takes pole and the 5 points. Excellent news for him and for Team Dead Bull. Mark, to answer your question, do we drive these every week or change the car every week? We're on our 12th season of FTRL GT Sport now. A lot of other seasons we've had the same cars week in, or the same mix of cars week in, week out. This season is quite different. We've got different cars every single week. So we're in the Red Bull X 2014 Junior this week. Last week we were in the Toyota 86 Group 4 cars, and next week we have got a mixture of cars for a time trial event, so it's all very interesting, changing every week, and it's great fun to race in. Who are we waiting? Oh yeah, I imagine we're waiting for Ross and for the time to eke its way out to the end of qualifying. Yeah. Oh, he heard me. A few donuts for good luck, why not? Just having a look through some of the liveries while we wait for the time to finish up. I think Unsafe, I think it is. Where has he gone? Here he comes. I think Unsafe's done another cracking job on his livery. That's another good effort. Okay, so there's our standings for the start of the race. So Jono on pole, closely followed by Unsafe Release, and then I'm going to have to remind myself as we go through the grid. Here we go. So as I say, Jono followed by Unsafe Release, followed by Captain Chubbs, then City Posh Blue, Switchback, Breadisher's Daddy, Lee Cole, Aaron, Zom, Spike, Sam, and at the back courtesy of his qualifying ban, positive Ross, so he'll be looking to move up quite quickly. So Sardegna A, 30 laps, and we're away. It's a quick start and just caught a couple of people out, in particular Switchback, who's been passed on the outside by Lee Cole. Jono is going to keep the lead and lead us down to the first corner, very closely followed by Unsafe Release. We'll see if he looks to defend the inside. Not really, he's just Unsafe, happy to sit in behind for now. We've got a bit of action happening further back as Lee makes the move and British Daddy is straight off into the gravel, followed by Ross. So those two drop straight to the back of the pack. They want to hang on to the back and make sure they don't get lost. That promotes Sam to 10th and everybody else above them as well. Switchback, after his poor start, is down in 8th. Zom has made a good start, he's up to 7th, Lee 6th, Aaron 5th. Now these guys will look to keep in the train, keep in the slipstream. You do want to be saving a bit of fuel if possible over the course of this race. It's excuse me, it's a 30 lap race. If you push it hard and don't pay any consideration to fuel saving, you probably only get about 8.5 laps out of the tank. So if you want to do a 2-stop, you're going to have to save some fuel, and obviously the most efficient way of doing that is to sit in the slipstream. As John has leads us out, he's not far from breaking the slipstream from Unsafe Release, to be fair, if he gets a good run through this corner, which can be taken flat out. As he heads down towards the final hairpin for the first time. So John are now slightly outside of slipstream range, who's made a very good start here. As we look at City Posh Blue down the home straight, going into lap 2, looking to make a move on Unsafe Release, and he's already passed him as they come round down to the first corner. That's a good move from City Posh. And Unsafe Release is going to try and hang on, but he's going to go for it. He's going to go for the position back. This is going to help John get away at the front. He's already 1.2 seconds clear. Unsafe Release got the inside line, but that's going to turn into the outside line as they come into this right-hander. It's a tricky section. This is probably the trickiest bit of the entire circuit in my opinion. And that's allowed Captain Chubbs to get right back in there, with Aaron hanging onto the back as well. There's then a bit of a gap back to Lee Cole and Switchback, and then a bit further back, 2 seconds back, is Zom. He's followed by the recovering British Daddy, who's made his way back up to 9th, Ross in 10th, Spike 11th, and Sam is just now struggling to hang on to the back. I think if somebody can tell me the yellow light on Sam's ABS, does that mean his ABS is off or on high? If it's off, he'll be having a world of pain. I think it's all a learning experience, isn't it? Oh, evening Goy, thanks for joining us. Oh, these cars, yeah, you're right, these cars do look very fancy. And some cracking livery jobs done again, as I was saying. Not C-Posh, as he puts no effort in whatsoever. As I said, Unsafe Releases is looking pretty nice. Chubbs has gone for the all-black look for Team Deadball. Aaron's with the standard Milka livery, and he's being closely pursued by Lee Cole, who's pretty much pushing him down the straight at the minute, but he's now going to go for the move in the inside of turn 1 and has a look and then backs out. I think that's sensible at this stage of the race. You don't want to get caught up battling. Yeah, as I thought, he's got the ABS. He's got the ABS off. It's not going to help him. I'm good, Goy. Thank you. I'm very good. I'm having a great time, as always, with FTRL. Oh, Sam! Sliding it around the corners. That'd be the ABS. I told him. Unfortunately, he's not going to be listening to me, so it's not going to help him. Poor lad's going to do 30 laps with the ABS off and have a hell of a time. Okay, back to the front. C-Posh Blue has closed the gap to Jono, so Jono did have a 1.5 second gap. That's been pulled back in by City Posh, so he should be able to just sit behind in the slipstream now, and puts him in a very good position. Unsafe still in 3rd, wiggling his way around that corner. Oh, unsafe. Gorgeous. That's far too wide out of there. I have hit that bit of wall coming out of that hairpin before. You just try and, you know you've got to get on the power early for this long home straight, and you just try and hit it as soon as you can. But if you push it a bit too far, you're in the outside wall, and you will come to a dead stop. So City Posh Blue sets the fastest lap of the race so far, 1:37.6, and that has just left him sitting very nicely in second place. Just looking a bit further back now, Captain Chubbs, Aaron and Lee still maintaining their positions. A bit further back, Brett has managed to get past Switchback, so after his unfortunate start, he's having a good run so far. Coming through this tricky section now, just having to slow down a bit, and that's going to bring Switchback onto the back of him, but it's a difficult place to make a move here. And he's not going to try it, which I think is sensible. Ross just tagging along with Zom for 9th and 10th. And Jono still leads. So lap 4, just halfway around lap 4 now. Now's the time, I think. I don't think I'm putting anyone's tactics in jeopardy. I don't think if you're in these people's teams, don't go relaying them critical information, because I'm going to start going through people's fuel and tyre wear states in a minute. See how they're faring. I wouldn't want to ruin anyone's strategy for them. So let's all be reasonable, yeah? In that vein, Jono looks to be on about 2/3 of a tank of fuel, which is maybe a little bit less, which is about where he needs to be. So he's obviously, even though he's out in front, he's doing a good job of fuel saving. Whereas City Posh behind him is on a little bit less. That's probably due to the fact he had to push and catch up. So lap 5 now, you don't want to be on much less than half a tank going into lap 6 if you want a 2-stop. So we'll see how he goes as he slithers his way around that corner. Jono got, I think, a bit of a better run out of there, but City Posh still sticking with him. And those two now dropping unsafe releases. He's got a bit of a gap in front of him, bit of a gap behind him in 3rd. And meanwhile, Captain Chubbs and Aaron going at it through the fast left-hander. You need to make sure you take that right, get on the power early again if possible, because there's another long straight. Is Aaron going to look for a move? I think he's a little bit too far back to try into this corner. Yeah, he's just sitting in behind. And you see now, as we head, we're half a lap away from finishing lap 5, and some of the guys are already below half a tank of fuel. Most of them doing alright, but yeah, Bread, Chubbs and City Posh probably the ones most in trouble at the minute. And said that's still time to go, so it's still time to make sure you can eke your way to 10 laps if you are on that strategy. So Jono still leads, as he has done from the start. Comes around to set his personal fastest lap by a mere 0.005 of a second. City Posh still doing quicker laps, so he's just sat in behind. They're quick laps, but they're not insanely fast, so he's not pushing it too hard, I don't think. Tell you what, you can tell Jono's come from F1 because he's taking excellent care of the car so far in terms of fuel and tyres. Really is doing a good job. He's got the consistency there as well, and consistency is what wins you races, of course, as we well know. Unsafe's not going away. The gap was 2 seconds about a lap ago. It's still 2 seconds now, so he's definitely still in the hunt. And just behind, Chubbs, Aaron and Lee all running together in a mini train as well. Oh, we've lost Sam. That's a shame. I'm not sure what happened. What's happened there? That's not an auspicious debut, but we'll find out what's happened to him. So switch back 7th, Ross 8th, those two sticking together at the minute, and this little dance for positions slightly further back in the pack goes on because Bread Is Your Daddy, who was ahead of these two, has now slipped back a second or so behind them, and he's being given a watching brief by Zom in 10th, and Spike at the minute bringing up the rear in 11th. So Jono comes around for lap 7 out of 30. Oh, we lost Zom as well. This is not good news. Oh, and there's stuff happening in the background. I just saw a puff of gravel. I really hope we haven't got lobby issues. That's 2 people gone in the matter of a lap. We've now only got 10 runners. What is happening? Everybody else seems to be okay. No. There we go. Oh dear. Right. GT Sport kicks us in the nuts once again. So we'll take a quick break, we'll figure out what we're going to do. Yeah, boo indeed. We'll take a quick break, we'll figure out what we're going to do, and hopefully we will be back with you shortly. Well, we're still racing. We've lost now 3 people at the last count. We've lost Zom, Spike and Sam. But the lobby still seems to be vaguely functioning as far as I can tell. So we're not giving up on this just yet. I'm gonna exit back out of here briefly and then come back in because yeah, I've got no information on times or laps or anything like that. But we'll do our best. Hopefully you can all still hear me and it's still going. Let's see where we're at. Yep, stream's still going. Okay, so I'm going to have a bit of a guess on what lap we're on, because I've got 0 information on my screen. Judging by people's fuel states, we're probably on lap 9. We'll wait and see, as we just see first person come into the pits is Bread Is Your Daddy, so he's not quite made it to the 10 laps. So he'll be likely going for a 3-stop strategy. As we see him fuel up his car here, it's going to take quite a while to fuel up the car. Obviously that's the same for everyone. And we still have Jono leading. So he's doing an excellent job so far, keeping control of the race. Still got City Posh hanging on to him, and also Felice further back, with not much changing further back. Aaron's just taking it easy until he shows his nose and maybe looks for a move down the inside here. No, he's keeping his position. And we'll watch the leaders come round for it's either the final lap before they come in the pits or the penultimate lap. If it's the penultimate lap, City Posh is in a bit of trouble, so let's just see. Here they come. No, they're going to go around again, and City Posh is going to go around again. It's a brave move. He's going to be absolutely Scotch fuel when he comes back in. We've got other people pitting now who haven't quite made it, so these front 5 are coming around for another lap. Pretty much everybody else has pitted, and Captain Chubbs has run out of fuel on the way into the pits by the look of it, which is not going to help him. Meanwhile, Bridges are already back out and in 9th place, which is now last in this race, thanks to our lobby issues. So it's these 5, and I'd suggest possibly these 4 out at the front that are probably still in with a chance of winning this race. Of course, anything can happen, has happened and will happen, and I think the next thing that might happen is City Posh is going to run out of fuel. He's dropping back from Jono. He's clearly on sort of max fuel saving mode at the minute. He's very, very, very close to the red line. Oh, and he's chucked it into that corner, because why not? And here he comes down to the final corner. Is he going to have enough fuel to get to the pits? I think he's pretty much out, to be honest. He's going to gun the accelerator and pray. Yeah, and there we go, he's run out, so he's going to be passed by Unsafe Release on the way into the pits, and possibly Aaron as well. So he's not timed that to perfection. As City Posh Blue coasting into the pits. Here comes Aaron behind him, and Aaron makes it in first, so Aaron will probably, looks like Aaron will jump City Posh as well. And that leaves Jono in an excellent position to take control of this race. So let's have a look and see who's coming round out of the ones that have already pitted and see how close they get. I don't think they're going to get very close, because Jono is already out of the pits, so he's off and running, followed by Unsafe Release. So it's these 2 in control at the minute. As I said, Aaron leaving the pits just ahead of City Posh Blue, whose fuel miscalculation has cost him a couple of places. And that's allowed Ross to really catch up to the back, so Ross in a better position now. He's up to 5th, followed by Lee and Bredd, who are battling as they come out of this first section of corners. Lee just nips in front there. Bredd will settle in behind. Is he going to go for a move down to this left-right section? No, he's thought better of it. So what do you do now? This is the question. If you are... Oh, you don't do that. It's just extending Jono's lead at the minute, so he's over 4 seconds clear now after that little trip to the verge by Unsafe Release. My question was going to be, what do you do now if you are an Unsafe Release and Aaron? The City Posh. City Posh, it looks like, is gonna give plenty of space for Ross to go up the inside here. He's just gonna swing around the outside and maintain the position, so that's good racing there from City Posh. So the question is, do you push and try and close the gap at the expense of your fuel and your tyres, or do you sit back, save the fuel, hope there's an issue up ahead, and pretty much just settle for the position you're in at the minute? It looks, from the last few corners we've seen him go around, it looks like Unsafe is pushing. He's going to have to be pretty rapid in order to catch Jono. He's just clipping every curb and sort of bit of grass as he goes through. It's not going to help his time. He's really pushing for it. He's giving it everything he's got as Unsafe. Further back, everybody's starting to spread out a little bit now. a few more people in the chat. Good evening, Corboy. Good evening, Nobby Norris. Good to see you in. Nice going for come on, you deadball. Well, they're not doing bad at the minute. We've got a deadball in first. We did have a deadball doing alright, but oh, what has happened to Captain Chubbs? I have no idea. He was definitely up with that group of sort of Bread, Lee Cole, that sort of group there. He's now 15 seconds back, so something's happened there. It looks like a couple of laps back when he clocked a 1:55, so it's all gone a bit wrong there. So it's good and bad, yin and yang for Team Deadball at the minute. Jono maintaining that gap. Unsafe releases. He's been pushing. He's maybe closed in a little bit, but he's still got a long way to go to catch back up. Try and take that win. But he's still got a good 16, 17 laps to do it. I'm going to have to start keeping a tally once we get to the next lot of pit stops, because I've got no information on what lap it is or what lap times people. Obviously I've got lap time information now, but the lap counters are all wrong, so it's slowly coming back to me. So let's have a look. I'm just going to see the difference in times between these two guys as they come round for this lap. Jono's gone purple through the second sector, so he's put the hammer down a little bit. Unsafe just trying to keep up with him. Last lap Jono dropped about 4/10 to unsafe release, but it looks like he's quickened his pace a little bit for this lap. So let's have a look as he comes round. Here it comes, and this is going to be a 1:38.3 with unsafe release coming over the line with a 1:38.2. No, we've definitely had an issue. It started, a couple of people started jumping all over the place for me, and then we lost 3 people. I got booted from the lobby as well, but obviously I could just drop straight back in. Yeah, unfortunately it's gone a little bit wrong this evening. We were sort of halfway through the race, so we're gonna carry on. We're gonna continue to the end of the race. It's massively unfortunate for those people that got booted out. So yeah, condolences to that. Condolences? I don't think it's severe enough for condolences. Bad luck, guys. And condolences make it sound like someone's died. So we've got people coming together a bit further back in the battle for the podium. Ross has made, obviously he started towards the back of the grid, didn't have a spectacular first couple of laps, but he's been making steady progress since then, so he's now just a second and a half behind Aaron. His lap times are picking up. So that's something Aaron's going to have to keep an eye on. He's got a massive gap ahead of him to unsafe release, so he's going to have to hope that unsafe makes a few more trips to the verge if he has any chance of catching him. Meanwhile, Ross has a wiggle coming out of the final corner. I'll try and say it right this time, and that's got City Posh right on the back of him, and City Posh is going to go for a move. Whether he's gone for the move too early, possible, because Ross could just drop back into the slipstream and get back alongside him here. Don't think he's quite going to be able to do that, so City Posh takes back 4th place that he lost earlier on. And we've got British Daddy for Team Aaron still hanging in there and chasing down these guys, so he's not out of the hunt for podium either, which is excellent news. He's had a pretty rough couple of weeks, missed the last week entirely, and had a tough time before that, so it's good to see him doing well. I'm going to move away from him now, I don't want to curse him. Where's Lee going? Oh, Jesus, Lee. It's a full-on Tokyo drift around that corner from Lee Cole. That won't do the tyres any good whatsoever. Should let Switchback get a bit more of a look at him as they come down this straight. Oh, Chubbs is having a nightmare. He started really well as well. I don't know. He qualified well. I don't know what's happened. I suppose the only positive that Chubbs can take now is that he's definitely going to get ninth place. He's still plugging away. Good for him. So Jono still leads the gap now up to 5 seconds. So he's handling this well. Unsafe release still second, and you can just see in the distant background behind him Aaron coming round the final corner in 3rd place. What can City Posh do? Can he close that gap at all? It's not a lot, it's only half a second or so. If he wants to get in the slipstream. At the minute he's outpacing Aaron. You can see a gap of about 0.6 of a second there, so he's catching him quite quickly. He's got to watch his fuel this time though. I can only assume again we're on lap 6 now of this stint, so lap 16. Oh, British Haddadi has got an abysmal fuel level. Mind you, he's going to be free stopping anyway, so you can see that it's allowing him to set decent lap times. He set a 1:38.0 a couple of laps ago, which is only a couple of tenths off the fastest lap of the race so far, which has been set by Captain Chubbs. But yeah, it's going to cost him, and he's going to have to do another pit stop, which is going to cost him 20 seconds or so. So he'll just be hoping to race as hard as he can and hope that he can catch back up with the pack after his extra stop. Who's looking forward to the time trial next week? Please tell me if you are. Oh no, we've lost Spike as well. Oh no. Right, cross everything, people. Oh, did we lose Spike? No, we lost Spike early, didn't we? He must have just been spectating. Oh, thank God. Don't do that to me, Spike. Good evening, Pete Man. Welcome, mate. I'm sorry you couldn't make it earlier, but as it turns out, you might have been booted anyway. For your information, we've lost 3 people so far to lobby issues. We are trying to plug on to the end. As we see, Bredish is actually coming for his 2nd stop. It's going to be a 2nd stop out of 3 for him, so he's going to have 1 more to do. He shouldn't have to put as much fuel in, so there's still a chance he can catch up to the rest of the pack. Meanwhile, TMC Jono cares not for pit stops, he cares not for lobby issues. He is clear at the front by a good 5 seconds. Flawless racing so far. And this means some pretty interesting things for the table as well. I'm going to have a quick look. I had a quick look earlier. I'm going to have a slightly more in-depth look now while people are a little bit more spread out. If I can find it. Where is it? Here we go. So, this week it is 40 points for the win. Jono's already picked up 5 points for pole. So, if he holds on here and gets the win, as to be honest it looks like he's going to, I'm not trying to jinx him or anything, I wouldn't want to do that, but he's not put a foot wrong yet. If he holds on for the win, that'd be 45 points in total, so 2nd place will get you 35 points today. Going down 32, 30, 25, 22, 20, 17, 15, 12, 10, 8, 7 and 5. So the least anyone who's still in the lobby today is going to get, as we see Chubbs leave the room. I don't know whether that's just, hopefully that's not more lobby issues. I hope as well that it wasn't just because he was annoyed at having the sort of accidents he'd had in the race, because as I was just saying, 9th place would have got him 15 points. So yeah, hopefully it's not more lobby issues, but you know, Brad is 20 odd seconds off the back now, but he's still going to net reasonable points off the back of this. He's going to get himself 17 points, so still something to race for. And what this will do is shake up the table a little bit. As I was saying before, at the top of the table at the minute we have got T. Smith and Pagani, who are both racing tomorrow. City Posh Blue follows them. He is currently 4th. So yeah, he stands there's a good chance he could drop some points on the leaders after today's racing if he can't improve on that position. Well, he's not far off Aaron now. This will be the battle to watch over the next couple of laps before people come into the pits. I'd say we've probably got 2 or 3 laps left before the second and final pit stop for these guys. City Posh really pushing there, getting very close to the wall on the outside. He's within slipstream range, so we'll see. I imagine he's going to be saving fuel at this point. Yeah, he's not really gaining on Aaron, so he's clearly fuel saving as they come down the home straight. Ross is 4 seconds back. So yeah, the 2 drivers in Jono and Unsafe Release, who are sort of, well, Jono's driver is obviously quite far down the table because he didn't start till last week. But Unsafe Release is sort of mid-table, 11th position at the minute. So this should bump him up a few places and be an excellent result for him. But it does give the other guys at the top of the table who are racing tomorrow a very good chance to stake their claim. Anyway, back to tonight's race. Let's go back to the Aaron City Posh battle. City Posh just drifting away a little bit. He may have made a slight error, but I'd say it's more likely that he's learned his lesson from last time and he's making sure he saves fuel and gets to the end of his 10 lap stint before running out this time. I imagine we'll see when he comes around to the end of this lap what this sort of lap time is like. I'd expect to be seeing it a bit down, probably in the low 130, the high 138s, low 139s. Everybody else pretty spread out now. Lee is at the back of the pack at the minute. Does that mean he's had to do another stop? I think it probably does, unless he's had a massive accident, because he's behind Bread Is Your Daddy at the minute. He's a minute off the lead. Not sure, but that does promote Bread to 7th, so good news for him. Switchback driving a lonely race at the minute, 6 seconds the gap ahead of him, 25 seconds behind. As we come round to what I'm going to presume now is lap 20. Unsafe Release and Jono are pushing the red line. But Jono should be alright. Yeah, they should both be okay, to be fair. Should just about get round to the pits. Right, so this must be lap 20. I'm going to start keeping count. Because I can't see what lap it is, so... It's telling me, like, if you can see the same as me, it's telling me this is lap 13 on my screen, so... Once we get round to lap 22 on our screen, that'll actually be lap 30 and that'll be the end. But I'll keep count just in case. Right, Jono coming round the final corner of lap 20, and he'll be coming into the pits with very little fuel. He's timed it perfectly again. Unsafe has hung on to the back. The gap was out to about 5 seconds before. He's now back to 4.5, so he's still got a chance. I think he's probably going to have to rely on a mistake, and it's a mistake we haven't seen yet from Jono, if I'm honest. I've not seen him put a foot wrong yet. Aaron and City Posh lead us round. City Posh has managed to get to the end of his stint with some fuel. Hooray for him. In they both come, so that will be the battle to watch as we come into the final stint of this race. Ross will of course be diving into the pits as well, followed by Switchback in about 6 seconds time. Here he comes. And it's left to Bread Is Your Daddy to see if he can catch any of these guys up. But of course, he will have one more stop to do. So he'll probably find himself maybe 5th or 6th as he comes out of here, but then he's going to drop back again. And I believe, looking at his fuel state, the same can be said for Lee. So Jono is out, Unsafe is out, and 11 seconds further back, Aaron is out. So we'll again taking on a full load of fuel as we start lap 21. Yep, so there is Bread Is Your Daddy. He's popped out in 5th, just behind City Posh. With less fuel, he quite possibly might start catching him as well. So that could prove to be a a bit of a spanner in the works for the two ahead of him. If he looks to do an overtake, so just for the fun of it, why not? Yeah, so switchback brings up the rear of the pack at the minute, but he should improve on that as the others come in for the pits. Oh, the gap was 4 seconds there, but it's just jumped up again. Unsafe once again, pushing to try and catch up, but again, just making those little mistakes here and there, which are costing him. Right, let's focus on this battle for a bit. Half a second between Aaron and City Posh. Aaron's a few points behind City Posh in the standings, so he's going to want to hold on to this position, gain a few points back. Of course, with just the one race tonight, it's different from previous weeks. You can't say, I'll take this place and move on to the next race. It's now or never. So what will City Posh do? Will he buy this time, or will he look to try and get past Aaron in the next couple of laps and then pull away? Gap's very close now, just about a quarter of a second to come down to this left-hander. If you get a good run out of this left-hander, hit sort of more than 100 mile an hour coming out onto the edge of the corner, and then you've got a good run down this long back straight. Aaron seems to have got a slightly better run out of there, and again, City Posh not really pushing for the overtake, which is probably sensible at this stage. There's a long way to go yet. Taking it nice and easy. It is Paul. Oh, is City Posh going? He's taken that corner completely wrong, and that's dropped him off the. Well, it's dropped off the back a little bit. I'm amazed he hasn't lost more time, to be honest. It has brought Bread Daddy back into play, though. He's got a few laps to cause a bit of chaos. Why not, Bread? Go for it. Go on. To be fair, if he tries to overtake City Posh, he could probably do his teammate a favour and maybe hold him up a bit. And he's not going to hang about. He's going to go for it straight away down this main straight. He's got an excellent run out the corner, he's got the slipstream, he's got less fuel, and he's gone clean past City Posh Blue and into 4th place. So he could do, we know he's got to stop, we know he's not going to finish 4th, but he could do such a good job here of holding up City Posh and letting Aaron get away. Let's see what he can do. It's a race that's been fraught with disappointment for quite a few people, not least the guys that have been kicked out of the lobby, but all of a sudden we've got a bit of drama, and this is like we said, we haven't seen a lot of sort of team strategy yet in this season. Obviously people have been trying to work together, they've been trying to sort of pull each other down the straights, things like that, but I think this is the first sort of scenario like this that I've seen this season. It's all very interesting. City Posh is not happy. He's pushing to get back past. Aaron's not really managing to get away. Maybe he's just taking the opportunity to save a bit more fuel, and Bread Daddy is gaining on him. Oh, and he's gone wide. Was he? Ooh, I don't think there was contact there. It's let City Posh back through. Of course, that gives Bread the run on the straight. He's still in slipstream range. I think he just took the corner wrong, if I'm honest. Is he going to have he's going to have the pace to get past him again. The lack of fuel, comparative fuel states is just killing City Posh Blue. He's gone defensive on the inside. He's pushed Bread right to the outside, and it was a bit of a squeeze. I think possibly Bread still had the room to get through, but he's gone all the way round, and that's going to put him back. So that is the end of Team Aaron's challenge to dispose of City Posh. He's come out victorious. And he's still right on the back of Aaron, so I'm pretty sure, everyone, we're going to see this one go to the wire. Let's have a check out front. The gap is closing. It was 4.5 seconds when they came out the pits. It's now 3.3. Let's have a quick look at the latest lap times. Jono did a 1:38.0, which is by no means slow, but Unsafe has gone sub 1:38 and has passed 2 laps. He did a 1:37.7 and a 1:37.6. Meanwhile, the fastest lap of the race has been set by Lee Colley's just absolutely blitzed it a few laps ago with a 1:37.0. That's cracking pace. He's going to need to do a bit more than that though if he wants to catch up with Switchback. So, I believe we've got 5 laps to go. And this isn't over. It's a big ask for Unsafe Release, it really is. He's got to catch more than half a second a lap, and he's got to overtake Jono before the end of the race. But you never know. I think now we will start, if Unsafe can keep the hammer down, keep the lap times coming in, keep it on the track, jeez, then he's gone purple in the first sector by a good 1500ths, despite that sort of little trip to the gravel there. So if he can keep this up, we'll start to see how TMC Jono can handle the pressure. Aaron and City Posh still cruising around together, City Posh biding his time. It was like a genteel British tea party for a few laps. They're just sort of having a little jaunt round together, and then the American crashed the party for a while before spinning out. It's back to how it was now. It's back to sort of cucumber sandwiches and Pims at 4 o'clock for these two, but that will only last until probably a couple of laps from the end, and then I imagine all hell will break loose. City Bosch doing a much better job with his fuel this time. He's just been able to sit in behind Aaron, so he should have no problems come the end of the race. It's something Aaron's going to have to take care of as well. Of course, he doesn't really have to push it because he knows that there's not much point in for City Bosch of him overtaking him at this point. He may as well wait towards the end. 4 laps to go. 5 laps to go. 5 laps to go, I think. Go! Oh, where's Aaron going? Oh, Aaron, don't do that to me. There's no attempt from City Posh to overtake him. He wants to sit in behind. He wants to save the fuel. Oh, it's probably the best tactic, if I'm honest. All this is allowing Ross to catch up. It's all very well and good saying that City Posh is happy to sit behind Aaron, but if Aaron's not setting the quickest lap times, and he isn't at the minute, he's doing 1:39s, that's going to allow Ross back into the party. He's got time to catch up, so this could yet become a 3-way battle for the podium. In the meantime, Unsafe Release is slowly but surely chipping away at Jono's lead. He's giving it everything he's got. There's going to be 4 laps to go. As we come to the end of this lap, the gap is now 2.7 seconds. It's not quite enough yet. He's still going to have to find a bit more. It's a 1:38 from Jono. It's a 1:37.7 from Unsafe Release. That's not going to be enough. He just needs to push it that little bit more. Or hope for a mistake. Yeah, it's a very good point, Tom. Fuel is... Let's have a quick look. Well, their fuel is bang on the same at the minute, so I don't know how Unsafe's doing it, but he's managing to keep up that pace and keep tabs on his fuel at the minute, unless they're both going to run out, which would probably not going to happen. He's got, yeah, but I suppose the point is he's going to have to push even harder. It's now 2.5 seconds. Yeah, mid 30, right, mid 37 is pushing it. If I was unsafe now, I would probably do that. I would probably push it and just try and put the pressure on and force him into a mistake. Because I think that's the only way he's going to get past him regardless. I don't think even if he does mid 137s and somehow manages to hold on to his fuel, he's probably still not going to get past him by the end of the race, because we're coming round to 3 laps to go. If you can really force it, get to within a second, maybe just frighten him up a bit, he might force a mistake out of him, but we will see. I think from what I've heard, John's got enough experience racing F1 to be able to deal with that, but we will see. Meanwhile, Aaron, City Porsche has made the break, so he's had enough, he's going for it. He's now 1.2 seconds ahead of Aaron. I didn't see where he got past him because I was focusing on my the spreadsheet in my mind as I was dealing with Jono and unsafe release, but City Porsche has made the break and he's now 1.5 seconds ahead of Aaron. And Ross is closing in, so Aaron will not want to drop 2 places in the final laps of this race. Mark, if you want to join us, yeah, you're more than welcome, my friends. You can find us on the best place is probably find us on Twitter at FTRL. I think, is it just the FTRL? God, I'm terrible at this. Hang on, let me check. It's at _FTRL_. So if you drop us a private message on there, that's probably the best way to get in touch with us. And one of the admins will pick that up and get back to you. If there's a space for this season, we'll gladly look at sort of having you in, you know, just to sort of try it out for the rest of the season and see how you are, if we've got space. I'm not sure we've got any gaps at the minute, but if and when we do, we'll definitely get you in, and of course we can always consider you for next season. So this season runs until I think there's 12 weeks of this season, and we're in week 6 now. So in 6 weeks' time we'll finish this season. We'll probably have a week or two's break, and then we will come round for season 13. So yeah, by all means, get in touch. Two seconds now. 2 laps to go. He's getting closer. He is getting closer. I think we're going to focus on this now, because I think City Porsche has managed to drop Aaron. Yeah, the gap's 2 seconds now. I think Aaron's just not got the pace to keep up, unfortunately for him. He's probably more interested in keeping an eye on Ross behind him, as Ross sets a 138.3 versus Aaron's 138.5. So Aaron just needs to push a little bit. His tyres are not in the best state if you look at the difference compared to Ross. It's looking good for Ross. 1.8 seconds. He's right. It's getting there. He's getting there, but he's running out of time. I do think we've only, again, I'm not 100%. Thank you, GT Sport, but I think this is the penultimate lap. I might be wrong. There might be 2 more after this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the penultimate lap. So let's have one last spin through the field just to see where everyone is before we come into the final lap. We've got Jono now 1.6 seconds ahead of unsafe release. Massive gap back to City Porsche, but he looks on to claim the final podium place now from Aaron, who is now just 0.4 seconds ahead of positive Ross as they come round towards the final sector for lap 29. You've then got Switchback having a more lonely race in 6th. He'll be probably reasonably happy with that result, I think. Lee Collins 7th, Predator Daddy is in 8th, so that's probably where he's going to finish. Okay, so here we go, final lap. It does say final lap, here you go, I forgot it tells you. So I know it's the final lap now. I can give it the appropriate amount of gravitas as we come towards the finish. It's under a second, the gap is under a second. Unsafe release giving it everything he's got. It was a 137.5 for unsafe release and a 138.1 for Jono, so he gained 6/10 on that last lap, and he is gaining at a rate of knots. He is not, if he can get this corner right, he'll be within slipstream range. He's got to really push it. He's gone a bit wide. He just hangs on around the edge. He's not in slipstream range right down this back straight, which really would have helped him. Jono got a really good run out of that corner, so he's maintaining the gap at the minute. They're both pushing it. I think they've both got fuel to get to the end, just about. He has eating away at this gap as unsafe release. It's going to absolutely kill him if he can't quite get there. He's gained a couple of tenths on that corner. Here we go. Is he going to be able to just drag it into slipstream range before the final corner? It looks like he is, yeah. So here we go. He's going to gain a little bit as we come down to the final hairpin. It's a good lead for Jono Seals. As long as he gets this right, he should be okay. Unsafe release is going to give it everything he's got to try and get a good run out. He's going to push it. I think he's pushed it a bit wide. He has. He just tried to give it everything, and he's given it a little too much in the end. So it's going to be, in just his second week in FTRL GT Sport, TMC Jono, who comes around to take the checkered flag and win the Thursday race of week 6. Excellent race. He didn't put a single foot wrong in that. Fantastic racing. Unsafe Release did a brilliant job to get that close in the end, bring that all the way back into 7/10 gap at the end. Just wasn't enough. We see City Posh come around the final corner now, and he will take a podium. I think after his fuel issues earlier, he'd be very happy with that. And Aaron has managed to hold off Positive Ross, and he will come round and take 4th from Ross's 5th. Oof. So not a lot of sort of wheel-to-wheel battling today, but as we said, it was a good strategic race, and we saw the strategies and the tactics of people play out as we see Switchback come home for 6th place. What we have seen, interestingly, is anyone on a 3-stop has not been able to keep the pace. And granted, I think they did have a couple of accidents as well, the guys that remain on the 3-stop strategy. You see Lee Cole come home in 7th, and it will be Bread Your Daddy. He put up a good fight. He gave City Posh a bit of bother at one point, then got squeezed out, and he's going to spin it over the line. Lovely work to take 8th place. So, a bit unfortunate tonight. We lost a few people to lobby issues, which is a real shame. We hate it when that happens. We have to try and figure out what happened and what went wrong for that. But apart from that, another excellent night's racing. I think it's obviously massive congratulations to Jono on his first win in only his second week. We're making a habit of that. People joining and winning in the first 1 or 2 weeks. It's always good to see. And I think a couple of other people were really happy with their performances in that race as well. So yeah, good stuff. Alright, thanks for joining us, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. Join us again tomorrow, where we'll have the other half of the league doing exactly the same race at exactly the same time, and some of them will be hoping to make, me included, make big gains. So yeah, thanks very much. See you then. Goodbye.